Good evening, traders. Sunday. I wanted to kind of recap my trade, and I said I'd update on that contract I let ride on my Apple trade Friday. I wanted to kind of get into some technicals and my thoughts on risk. So we had a pop last week on some fluffy Fed news because of the word pause. You know, Australian Fed was asking about pausing rates. Well, we got non-farm Friday and some reports on Thursday that proved that we ain't pausing anytime soon, right? And I was also started on a SPY swing, got in about right here. But the reason why I'm going over that, let's talk about Apple. So I chose Apple because of this resistance right here. It's pretty protected in a trade on a day that we knew it was going to be weak. I mean, we've seen days like this all year. Okay. So automatically pre-market, you got this bear flag. So it was holding this area. It's pretty much I was looking for puts, right? So this is probably the most expensive price I was willing to get in at, so I started in. And as it pushes into my risk, I added. And that's how I think of every trade. You know, this is the cheapest that I want to pay for it, basically. And then it gets your average. It averages down your average. It gets your averages better. Now this being my risk, even though it popped above it, you got to let that candle close. And sometimes, even if it closed right here, what does the next candle do? If it opens right here and doesn't pop through, well, you're still in a trade. So basically, this can do backflips. I mean, it's only 50 cents. This can do backflips in here, and the trade is still live, right? I was watching SPY NQs at the time. Just weak. I mean, now Apple was stronger because it kind of popped in the morning time. And SPY NQs was already breaking levels. So I had to just kind of sit through this, which was fine. But when you have a big move down and it retraces, sellers want to retest this low right here. So that was why that was my target. And likewise, when you have a big move up, buyers like to retest this high. And yes, it broke through by like 13 cents, but it's more like a fake out. It says, okay, this bounce right here is weak. Why? Why? So let's go by why. And it's the same thought. Now that same thought process, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, you have a big move down, you get a retracement. Sellers like to retest this low. So once it gets up and it can't even make it to these highs, then you get some hot reports. Game on, man. So kind of use that thought in my swing on SPY, man. But I also use it for my intraday on Apple. So you got bear flag, you got a fail of highs, failed to make highs, you got a hot report, you got weak SPY NQs, you got all the pieces in the puzzle there, you got heavy protection. So it's basically just letting the trade work out. And that's one way to look at how to let your winners ride. So that last contract, pretty much left it on because you got a hot report, same thing. We failed to make new highs. We failed that high. SPY couldn't even get there to test. I guess you can look at this day, but I don't know. Oh, this is squeeze anyway. Pretty much shorts. Wasn't no real buyers in there. Probably had some chasers, but yeah. So where do I think we're going this week? And I think we're going to be retesting lows. Honestly, an Apple swing, you get a retracement. So I think we're going to retest these lows. So a pop into this area would get me short on SPY. Same thing with Qs. Let's look at Qs. Yeah, Qs is a little weaker. Pop into here would probably get me short on Qs as far as day trades are concerned. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. So I let a contract ride, and me and my wife had gotten a phone call about some medical news, so I looked at my charts on my phone probably about 2 o'clock, and I saw that it was just caught in a range bound, and as soon as it broke, like up in here somewhere, I sold my contract. And it was really just luck. Honestly, if it would have probably popped, I probably would have left it on since I had another week on there. See what it did next week. But the premium through all this really wasn't moving that great. So as soon as these candles started happening, there was a premium push, so I just got out. Anyway, that's my thoughts and how I think of risk. I wanted to show Meta. I was talking about this on the beginning of my first video. On Friday. Let's talk about my plans. Man, beautiful bear flag. And it just checked out, right? It pushed right into that trend. Right into it. Acceptable risk. And it just... Meta's such a clean trader, man. And everything's setting up right. I like these stocks because they follow the rules. Anyway, that is kind of my thoughts and technicals on my Apple trade. Why I let one run and why I was so confident in the trade to sit through some of this, even though. So I kind of ran out of bullets because of that SPY swing. I'm sorry. But while adding to my risk, and if I had the bullets, man, I would have been adding up here. While I was confident and just kind of sitting through all this and just letting it ride, trading the target. So, anyway, appreciate you watching, and any questions, just hit me up. Thank you.